Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyervip.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Let's shine a light on a fighter I have not mentioned previously online here. I believe he's ready to leave an imprint on the light heavyweight division. He's unbeaten. He's a golden boy, promotions fighter, well connected. His name is Vyacheslav Shabranskyy, and he's favored, almost a 3-to-1 favorite, to beat Sullivan Barrera, whose only loss was by decision to Andre Ward. Right? I like Shabranskyy in this fight. Right, let's talk about who he is. He's a light heavyweight. The weight limit there is 175 pounds, but yet he's 6'3". He's a very tall light heavyweight. His signature win was over Vyacheslav Gonzalez. You might recall Gonzalez gave Jean-Pascal all he could handle. Right? If you want to see Shabranskyy at his best, look at the third round of that fight when he gets Gonzalez up on the ropes. Right? This guy, who's a big-time puncher, better than 80% knockout ratio, is gonna wilt many cute fighters who operate behind jabs just due to his outright aggression and persistence in jumping in and hitting you to the body. Right? He's a guy who has the patience, so to speak, to cut down a tree. Now, he's a bit of a mid-range hooker. Even though he's 6'3", he gives away his height. He's somewhat in front of you. He needs for there to be a pocket. He doesn't have great hand speed. In my opinion, the kind of fighter who might be able to beat him would be someone who has ring coverage, who can hit you with bombs from distance, lead with power shots. At light heavyweight, the name that comes to mind is Adonis Stevenson, right? But Shabranskyy is dangerous, right? He has a back foot. He can actually move back to create space. He also has an underrated jab. You're going to notice in that Gonzalez fight, it's Gonzalez who's front foot heavy. Shabranskyy, the guy with the bigger punch, quite frankly, right? The greater than 80% KO ratio is the guy who's actually operating behind a jab, backing up. But that's not his real game. His real game is to quickly set his feet. He has a great base. And then to throw very heavy punches, including body shots. Right? Now, it looks like he can be countered, right? Because he's offensive and he doesn't have great hand speed, right? And he's in front of you. The problem, though, here's the catch-22. Is you have to find a way to be close enough to him to counter him without being hit by his big shots, right? This is a guy who throws a decent number of punches, and he wants to trade with you because his punches are harder than your punches. I don't believe Sullivan Barrera, who according to reports has split from Abel Sanchez, the esteemed trainer, I don't believe Sullivan Barrera has the power to keep Vyacheslav Shabranskyy off of him. Right? I believe Shabranskyy is going to be, slickly outside, trying to dodge the jab. Then he's going to jump inside. And then he's going to start throwing power shots. And his aggression is going to be too much for Barrera, who has 3 KOs in his last 4 fights, to deal with. Right? This guy is a closer, power puncher who hurts you. right? While he has a jab and while he can avoid some punches, his real game is to get inside and hit you with body shots every round. What I've noticed is even an eager opponent like a Vyacheslav Gonzalez gets hit with enough body shots where later in the fight you notice he's just not who he was. Those body shots will decrease a fighter's hand speed quickly, right? They'll drain a fighter's stamina. Shabransky's 29 years old. I believe he's much better than advertised. If we're thinking about the next wave of fighters, understand, Andre Ward, Adonis Stevenson, they're in their 30s, right? They're in their 30s. You need to look at fighters like this. I know this guy's 29, but understand, he has less than 20 pro fights. He's just coming into his prime, right? The way this guy punches, I get the feeling he's going to surprise a lot of people at light heavyweight. Even though you're paying a premium here, he's the favorite, almost a 3-to-1 favorite. That's the side of the play I'm on. I like Vyacheslav Shabransky to win over Sullivan Barrera, right? This guy's Ukrainian, but he's been fighting in the United States for a very long time, right? Since the beginning of his career. What I want people to do is to look close at the Ukraine. I believe in boxing, we believe certain countries, right? The UK, Mexico, have the market cornered on great fighters. You're going to have a very hard time finding a country with better fighters per capita than the Ukraine, right? You have, in my opinion, the best cruiserweight on the planet, Alexander Usyk. He's from the Ukraine. You have Vasyl Lomachenko, who just got Nicholas Walters to quit. Keep in mind, Walters was unbeaten at the time, to quit on his stool, right? And you have this guy, Vyacheslav Shabransky, who, in my opinion, is this close to giving one of these light heavyweight champions all they can handle, right? It'd be interesting, quite frankly, seeing this guy against Sergey Kovalev. Kovalev has the better jab, right? But let's just say not by as much as you think, right? And this guy certainly hits harder than Vyacheslav and Andre Ward. So, take a look at Vyacheslav Shabransky. This is a name you want to write down, right? He's this close to hitting the public consciousness. I believe he goes further in that journey against Sullivan Barrera. That's how I see it. Let me hear from you, right? This is a dangerous fight. Obviously, Sullivan Barrera, if you look at his record, you're going to notice you're talking about a great jab. You're talking about a guy who knows how to use length. You're talking about a 34-year-old who's been around, right? Sullivan Barrera is a very savvy guy who has been avoided for years by opponents, right? He went the distance with Andre Ward, lost a wide decision, but went the distance with Andre Ward. Before then, had a string of 3 KOs. What I'm saying in this video is to take the other guy. I like Vyacheslav Shabransky in that fight. We'll see what happens. That's how I see it. Let me hear from you. I hope you leave your comments in the comment section to this video. Thanks for stopping by.